Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some American style pancakes, and these are going to be gingerbread pancakes, which on a very cold day like today would be ideal for breakfast. I'm sure that gingerbread or gingery taste has a very warming feeling to it. So not a difficult recipe, and it doesn't need to go in the oven. We're going to cook these on a griddle, but a frying pan will be fine just as well. So very straightforward, and I'll go on to the ingredients. And for this I have 120 grams, which is 2/3 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of bread flour. I have 35 grams, a quarter of a cup of yellow cornmeal, which is a very fine cornmeal. I have 25 grams, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 227 grams, which is 1 cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use milk, or you could use the same amount of milk and add a tablespoon or so of lemon juice into it, and that will curdle it and make it like buttermilk. I'm going to use 85 grams, a quarter of a cup of black treacle, and I'm going to weigh that into the milk just because it's very sticky for putting into a dish and then getting out. I have 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA. I have 4 grams, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 grams, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 grams, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1.5 grams, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 3 grams, half a teaspoon of salt, and just a pinch of ground cloves. Cloves is very, very strong, so you just need a little bit, and you could substitute that with some grated nutmeg if you wanted to. So that's all the ingredients, and we need to go on to make the batter. And to make the batter, I'm going to put the flour, the cornmeal, sugar, the salt and the spices, the baking soda and the baking powder into a larger bowl, and I'm going to give those a mix around to get them mixed into each other. I'll just set that aside for a moment, and then I'm going to weigh out 85 grams of black treacle into the buttermilk. That's perfect. And I'll give that a whisk to get that black treacle. And when I say black treacle, you can use molasses if you don't have black treacle. It's a very similar thing. So then I'll put the egg in as well, and the oil, and I'll just give those a mix around. That's good enough. And then I'm going to pour that into the dry ingredients. And I'm just going to give it a mix until it comes together. And I'm not going to mix it until it's smooth. Some lumps in it will be perfectly fine. And that's good like that. So then I need to heat my griddle pan or my griddle so that we can cook the pancakes. And I'm heating my griddle to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, and I've just brushed over the very tiniest amount of oil, and I've wiped it over with a piece of paper towel just to create a small film. And I could use both sides of my griddle for cooking, but I've actually decided to heat the second side slightly lower so that I can store the cooked pancakes on them and keep them warm. So I just use this one plate at 180 degrees. And as soon as it comes to temperature, I'm going to scoop about 60 millilitres, a quarter of a cup of my mixture onto the griddle to make the pancakes. So my thermometer tells me that's come to temperature. It will beep in a minute, I'm sure. There it is. So I'll take about a quarter of a cup and I'll put that onto the griddle and do the same with another. And I'll cook them until the edges become dry and the bubbles which appear on the surface start to break up. That will tell me that they're cooked underneath and I can turn them over. And that's going to take 3 minutes or so probably. And so my first one looks to be just about done. So I'm going to pick that up and flip it over. And I'll cook it for a minute or so on the other side, and then I will transfer it onto this warm plate. And then I'll do the same with the remainder of the batter. So there I've cooked 11 pancakes. This last one's slightly smaller, but that's fine. And they cooked up very nicely, nice and thick and fluffy. So I'll dish some up and then I'll have a taste. So I've simply served mine with some mango pieces and a little mango syrup, which I've thickened slightly, heated it on a pan to thicken it slightly. That's good enough for me. You could serve it with whatever you want, some sliced peaches, some creme fraiche, some whipped cream, maybe some almond butter or something like that. So I'll cut into it and I'll have a taste. So you can see the pancake is nice and fluffy inside. That's very, very good. Has a lovely gingerbready flavour, a nice warming flavour. Nice and soft and fluffy as this type of pancake should be. So a very easy recipe, and you can adapt it however you want. You could put more ginger in, for instance. You can serve it with whatever you want. Ideal for a breakfast, I would think, or even as a dessert. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.